Welcome back to the Plus Money Podcast, your home for the best soccer bets in 15 minutes or less. It's been a busy few days. We are into the semifinals of all three European competitions, and the Premier League teams are crashing out of it. We've got the semifinals of the FA Cup this weekend, and the biggest rivalry game in the world with El Clasico, with Real Madrid taking on Barcelona in Madrid. I'm Andrew Passaro. Ani Sridhar is back on the podcast, and in 5 words or less, Ani, Chelsea can beat City, yes or no?
Yes. Yes. There we go. Two
There
words.
we go.
Two words.
I think that
Yes.
was
Yes.
yes, yes. There we go. I think is five words exactly. You
Yes.
can follow us on Twitter, on Instagram at the Plus Money Pod, at Andrew Passaro, at Ani323. Let's get into it, my man. It did every day there's something big happening. We got penalty kicks left and right. It's what a time to be a footy fan. And we've got relegation 3-pointers, two big ones on Saturday morning. I'm just doing a straight parlay, both teams to score of Luton, Brentford, and Sheffield and Burnley. It's at plus 122. I see a lot of goals. I know you've got to play for Luton and Brentford.
Yeah, I'm taking the over 3.5 at plus 140. I know it's a big number, but I like both teams to score. Luton are a lot better at home, and they've been getting goals on the road. We saw Brian Embuemo come back for Brentford a couple weeks ago, so that attack gets a little jolt. Maupay's been pretty good all year, but Tony Embuemo, they're going to find a lot of cracks in this Luton defense, and I think Luton can get one or two. Honestly, I see this game. I think Luton could even take a point from this. Like, I see 2-2, so the over 3.5 should hit at plus 140.
I was going to say this game screams 2-2, and maybe
Yeah.
even someone up 2-0 and another team coming storming back. This one's going to
Yep.
be a great game. I really hope Luton somehow figure out a way to stay up. Let's jump to the first of two FA Cup semifinals this weekend. Chelsea taking on Manchester City. Disappointing weekend for Manchester City. They did everything they needed to do except score against Real Madrid, losing penalties, and now they're going to take on a Chelsea team that only played on Monday, absolutely blasted Everton off the charts. Chelsea kind of finding some form here. There's three things I like in this game. Over 3.5 is at plus 128. That's hitting 8 straight Chelsea games. They played to a classic Premier League 4-4 tie earlier this season. And I do want to say, of those 8 games for Chelsea, 5 of those you've had the over 4.5 come in, and that's at plus 320. That's a huge number, and it's only going to count for regulation. But I'm just throwing it out there. You should know about it if you're considering betting the over 3.5. And the other one, it's the signing of the season, undoubtedly. Cole Palmer, scorer assist is at plus 190. That does not make sense to me. The dude leads the league he's tied for the league in Premier League goals with Erling Haaland. Looks like he's got a really solid chance to win the Golden Boot. And he's also the penalty kick taker. So if they get a pen, which Chelsea get a lot, he's going to take it, and you want him at the spot. He's anytime goal scorer at plus 310, which doesn't make sense to me. Not first goal scorer, anytime goal scorer plus 310. I understand it's a semifinal. Manchester City just played 120 plus grueling minutes against Real Madrid
And lost.
and
And
lost.
lost.
So, and they're yes, they have an easier path to another Premier League title, but there's not just one team nipping at their heels. There's two in Arsenal and Liverpool. What do you like?
I mean, I've got two plays from this game. The number one is I like Chelsea and draw, double chance at plus 130. They played out to two draws this season, actually. It was the 4-4 crazy game that you mentioned, and I should have looked it up before, but I think it was
It was a 1-1.
0-0. 1-1,
1-1.
and yeah, 1-1 the second time they played. So we saw them have a goal scoring craziness and just a low scoring draw. So Chelsea can compete with this City side. We've seen that. And like you said, coming off a small week for Madrid, Chelsea with a big 6-0 win on Monday, healthier legs. I like Chelsea and draw at plus 130. This is all Chelsea has to play for. They have an outside shot at top 6, which would get them Europa Conference League next year. City still have the title to play for, so it's going to be very interesting to see what kind of lineup Pep rolls out here for the semifinal. And I like Cole Palmer, 2+ shots on goal, plus 320 for 2 shots on target. Sign me up. They could be playing Madrid in the Champions League final, and I'm still taking Cole Palmer to get 2 shots on goal. The dude, like you said, he's the penalty taker for the team. So that's 1 shot on goal there, pending he puts it on target. But he's been pretty good at that this year. But in open play, in the attack, Cole Palmer's got to He's got to head for the goal, and you know he's gonna want to shoot and score against his old team. So plus 320 is stupid value. That's not a full unit play. It'll be like a point 0.4, point 0.5 unit play there, but still stupid value. I'm taking it.
Okay, when you say that he's got 2 shots on target and that's the number, I'm curious what's the odds for him to just have 3 shots in the match? Because I've been betting that a lot. Those can be block shots, those don't have to be on target, and he's at plus 155 to have 3 shots in the match.
Yeah, we love that.
I love that
Yeah,
number. I
yeah,
like that doesn't make sense.
I
That
know.
doesn't make sense at all.
And
All
I mean,
right.
if you want a safer play, you could also just make sure you have lineups out, but Cole
Mm-hmm.
Palmer and Phil Foden to each have 1 shot on target. Like you
Yeah.
parlay those two, it's plus 120.
Yeah, I like
Like
that
still
too.
safer play, but you know Foden's gonna play. He's younger legs. He doesn't have a knock going into this. Pep's not gonna take him out of the lineup, so I
He's been
like
their
that.
best player this year by
Yeah,
far, in my
and
opinion.
Palmer's been Chelsea's best. So take the 2 best players on each team, get a shot on target, plus 120.
All right, let's jump to Wolves taking on Arsenal, and I've got a lot of slander to throw out at you. Okay. We've seen Arsenal dip in form in April before. Let's look at some stats I'm going to throw at you. First of all, they're playing on the road. So here's their last 5 road games: a 1-0 loss at Bayern, a 3-0 win at Brighton, a 0-0 draw at City, a 6-0 win at Sheffield, and a 1-0 loss at Porto. That's two losses, 2 wins, and a draw. Arsenal so far in this April alone, there's a 2-0 home win at a 2-0 home win at Luton, that 3-0 win at Brighton, 2-2 draw against Bayern at home, a 2-0 loss at home to Villa, and a 1-0 loss to Bayern. 2 losses, 2 wins, and a draw. Um, April of last year, won at home against Leeds, drew Liverpool away, West Ham away, Southampton away. I know that Southampton game I think was home. Whatever. 3 straight draws, lost at Manchester City. April of the season prior, 3-0 loss at Palace, 2-1 loss versus Brighton, 1-0 loss to Southampton, a 4-2 win against Chelsea, and a 3-1 win against Man United. And then April of the season prior, 3-0 home loss to Liverpool, 1-1 draw with Slavia Prague, 3-0 win at Sheffield, 4-0 win home Slavia Prague, 1-1 draw to Fulham, 1-0 loss to Everton, 2-1 away loss to Villarreal. This is generally where the wheels start to fall off when we see them lose the momentum. They are playing Wolves this weekend on the road. And I know Wolves have been very beat up, especially up front. But Wolves are plus 750 money line, which doesn't make sense to me. Wolves double chance is plus 210. I'm absolutely taking that.
I have
But also,
that's my pick for the game. Yeah.
Wolves plus 1.25, which means if it's a $10 bet, $5 of your stake is going on Wolves plus 1, and $5 of your stake is on Wolves plus 1.5. So if it's 2-1 Arsenal, you'll push on the plus 1 and hit on the plus 1.5, is at minus 105. I don't think it's possible that Arsenal win this game by 2 goals. And at odds, I love that. I kind of lean the under here because I think this is just going to be a gritty, disgusting game. I didn't look at the weather report. I should have looked at the weather for Wolverhampton, or I guess Birmingham
Birmingham.
on Saturday. But I find it hard to believe that Arsenal are going to get a positive result out of this. This team looks exhausted. Bukayo Saka has a limp, and they don't have a natural
When does he
uh
not have a limp?
also
Come on.
that the first 6 months of the season before Arteta burns him out. Um,
Right.
they don't have a natural replacement for him. Gabriel Jesus is not on form. And then Martinelli's not on form. The only one who's been remotely on form has been Kai Havertz, and I just don't like. And Kai's been good for them. There was a lot of bad things said about Kai all year. Kai has been good, double-digit goals for them this season, scored some clutch goals. I don't think Arsenal get this done. If you put in a Wolves plus 750 ticket, please tweet me because I'm riding with you at 2:30 on
I
Saturday.
mean, it's not just Arsenal coming in burnt out. I mean, we've Wolves competes with the top dogs like every year. They beat Chelsea twice this year. They beat Tottenham twice this year. They beat City earlier this season. They held a 2-2 draw against Newcastle. They only lost 2-1 to this Arsenal team at the Emirates earlier this year when Arsenal were cooking in December. So they, I have the plus 210 already. I've already locked that in for the double chance. I will definitely sprinkle on the money line as well. So yeah, I absolutely love this play. And I know Neto's not there, but Sarabia has been pretty good in that role, and Cunha's back for them, so that's a big plus.
Cunha being there gives me a lot more hope, but I think for Wolves, the best situation, this is like a 1-0 smash and grab, and they can do that. Let's turn the page. It's Sunday morning. Everton taking on Nottingham Forest, and this is a huge, huge game for both teams. Both teams in relegation trouble. Both teams in trouble with the FA when it comes to points deductions. And if Luton happened to do something the day before, this is a must win for both teams. I really love over 3.5 goals plus 210. But I think I'm going to be safer and take the over 2.75, which at plus 105, which is, again, you're splitting let's say it's a $10 stake. Half of that's going on over 2.5, and half of it's going over 3, which means if it's 3-0 or if it's 2-1, you will push on the over 3 and hit on the over 2.5. And you'll win half your stake. So, and push, which is a net profit. I guess the over 3.5 does worry me a little bit on who's getting the fourth goal, but I do expect pandemonium. And if there's a game that I think there could be a red card in this weekend, it's probably this one.
Yeah, I have Everton money line plus 105. It's just they need these 3 points. It's desperation time there at Goodison Park, and they're coming off as they're better than what the results showed on Monday. Like I think they're a much better team than the dumping they took to Chelsea's hands. I mean, I think Forest have always been good at home. They're not a very good team that travels, and Everton, I don't want to say it's a fortress, but they're a very good home team. That's a great home crowd, tough place to go and get a result. And I think Everton backs against the wall, coming off this a bad loss. Sean Dyche is going to have the boys playing. Give me the money line at plus 105.
I don't look, I'm not going with a winner or loser because I could very easily see this one
Forest have
getting
been
out of
playing
hand.
really well recently. Been playing really well offensively
Yeah.
too, but mostly at home. So I think
Yeah.
I like Everton.
It's gonna be good old fashioned geezer football on Sunday
Yeah.
morning early. Let's jump to Fulham and Liverpool. These two teams have played some great games this season. Fulham, first of all, the 4-3 Liverpool home win was bananas. The last second Endo win. McAllister had one of my favorite Liverpool goals of the season, that insane volley in the first game. Then they played in the semifinals of the Carabao Cup, and Fulham took it to Liverpool at Anfield, and they made it close at uh at the Cottage. And I think they've got a real shot in this one. Here I didn't update this stat, so I didn't even look. I didn't even add the Atalanta stats from earlier today. But I'm laddering shots here. Fulham 4 shots on target is minus 135. 5 shots on target is plus 165. 6 shots on target is plus 330.
I love a good shots ladder. Love a good shots ladder.
Liverpool shots given up in the last 5 is 5, 7, 5, 3, and 3. I'll see if I can pull up what happened in the Atalanta game today real quick. Because Atalanta, even though Liverpool were dominating the game, Atalanta were still sticking around.
I want to say they
Uh,
got four,
they only had 2
but
shots on target,
two.
8 total shots. Um, but they had no reason to push. They were up 3-0 going into it.
They
Right.
parked the bus.
So I think this is a Fulham team that pushed Liverpool really hard already at home. Fulham to score first is at plus 185 is a really good
Are
is
we
a really
back to
good
betting
number.
are we back to betting the other team to score first against Liverpool?
It's hitting 3 out of the last 6 at plus 185. I think it's more than
It's worth
playable.
it. It's worth it. Yeah.
Liverpool's defense did look on it today, and it was a good response from some bad performances against Crystal Palace
And
uh
Atalanta.
and Atalanta. Klopp gave out some ridiculous shot like number that like they've had like a ton of shots that just haven't gone in. So like statistically, Liverpool very due for an explosion of goals, which I could see happening in this game because Fulham aren't exactly a fortress at the back. I'm expecting to be hating my entire life from 11:30 until the final whistle of this game. What do you like?
I like the over 3.5 goals at plus 108. You said it. Liverpool is just like that Coke bottle that's been shaken, just kind of ready to just explode. And I think this could be the game. Klopp's like, look, City's out of European football, Arsenal's out of European football. We have a chance to now make this push. Like Klopp's last year at Liverpool, He's not going to win a cup in international play. He's got the Carabao Cup already, no FA Cup. He's pushing now for the Prem, and they kind of need to work on their goal differential because it might come down to that. So it's all chips are in now. It's time to push. So I like the over 3.5. I could see this as a 4-2 Liverpool win.
I would love that. I would love that. All right, it's the biggest rivalry in world football, El Clasico. And I mean, there's a ton happening around this one right now. Barcelona are in a top four race. Real Madrid trying to close out a title. I think it's inevitable at this point. They advance to the semifinals of the Champions League. Barcelona get knocked out. And
Like clockwork.
frankly, I
Like
mean,
clockwork.
a disappointing performance for them. A dumb red card that leads to them just getting
Man,
swept
they were
aside.
coasting to the semis because they
I
put in a
know. That
insanely
Rafinha
good
goal,
performance in Paris to then just kicking it off with that goal, like you said, Rafinha, and then the red card. Just it sucks. I've got friends who are Barcelona fans, and it heartbreaking for them.
look, I still think this is going to be a fun game. I expect Xavi at the start of his career had Real Madrid's number quite a bit, but I'm on Real Madrid money line at minus 125. Um, and there's two other props I like. Rodrigo, 2 shots on target. He's hit that in 6 straight games. I don't have a number on that yet. I'm expecting that to be a plus number, but the market's not open yet for that. But I absolutely love that target. I want Rodrigo to be the Liverpool replacement for Mo Salah so bad. One of my favorite players to bet on. I also don't hate 3 total shots in the match for him. That's hitting 4 out of those last 6. And we just talked about Rafinha. I looked it up. He's anytime goal scorer over plus 300. If you could grab him score or assist at plus 165, plus 150, which is what I'm guessing it'll be around, he's the man in form right now for Barcelona. I mean, him and Yamin Lamal are doing very well, and Real Madrid are going to be exhausted. I still think Madrid get it done. It's going to be a great game of football. What do you like?
I'm actually on the other side of that. I like
Yeah,
Barcelona and draw a double chance. So yeah, we're kind of on the other side. Like you said, they both did play in the midweek, but Madrid played 120 plus, and they had to defend their ass off for about 60 minutes of that game. So it's not just being exhausted, it's defending for the entirety and going the entire 120. So they know that they have La Liga pretty much wrapped. So I don't think I think we might see some rotations here from Ancelotti. So I don't think it'll be their top lineup potentially. I obviously they'll take it seriously. It's El Clasico, but
yeah.
this is all now Barca have left to play for. Xavi's last year at Barca, he said he's stepping down. I think Barca have more to play for here and are going to come out a little bit pissed off on how it went in the midweek.
Look, I don't disagree with you. I'm just not one to love enjoy. I just don't love betting against Real Madrid.
That's
Um,
it. Yeah.
one quick thing: there is the Super Classico on Sunday afternoon. River Plate taking on Boca. Um, Huge game in Argentina. I'm not one to bet Argentinian games a lot, but it's out there for you. Another a great classic rivalry. I'm going under 2.5. I haven't seen a number, so if the under 2.5 is at minus 140, I'm not betting it. But um, I think there's value there. There hasn't
You've
been a game
also,
with
yeah,
2 or more goals since October of 2021. They've played 5 games since then.
yeah, the under is a great value there.
If you have CBS, you can watch the game. It's on Paramount Plus because they have the Argentinian league. So
It's
um
actually, yeah,
bef- before you say how do I watch this game, if you pay me to watch the Champions League, jokes on you,
you
you can in
you
fact
can
watch
watch
this
this.
game
Yeah,
without paying another dime. So
correct.
um yeah, should be a fun one.
You've got
Coventry.
Dortmund, Bayer Leverkusen too this weekend.
Oh, it would look. It's
But
there's a
I'm not touching
so
it. I'm
many
not betting it. But because Dortmund's actually favored at home to win that game.
Leverkusen money lines plus 170. The draw
That's
no
right.
bets plus 100. I kind of like the draw no bet
I
because
like draw no bet. They don't lose.
they
They
don't
just
lose.
don't lose.
They were down for a good chunk of the game today against West Ham, and Jeremy Frimpong came back and did the thing. And
They don't. That was. I think they set the record for the most longest unbeaten run in like club football history or something. So
I look. I was having a conversation with somebody a couple weeks ago. If Leverkusen go undefeated over the whole season, win the treble, I think it's a better football achievement than Leicester winning the Premier League at plus 5,000. Because look, we've seen teams go undefeated.
Look,
Famously Arsenal,
I'll give them both their flowers for
100%. Mount
sure.
Rushmore achievements for sure.
But that's if Leverkusen won the Champions League and that completely different story there. It's just I mean Leicester just it's
I
not
know,
like Leverkusen were nobody. Leicester was a legit nobody almost.
100%. I mean, Leicester were, like I said, they were like
Yeah.
5,001 to win the
Yeah,
title.
right.
They were almost relegated the season before. It's one of the greatest things we'll ever see in our entire
Yeah.
lives as sports fans.
I mean, also,
Um,
before we wrap semis of the Champions League, and they've got Bayer Leverkusen in the semis of the Europa. So shout out Bundesliga. I had my doubts, but they showed up. And Serie
big,
A got the extra spot in next year's Champions League
yep,
because
big
the
time. Both of them do. Both of them too.
yeah, because the Prem
Both of
fumbled
them
the
do.
bag this weekend,
Yep.
this week. So
All right, guys. Well, that will wrap it up from us. You can catch more picks because I games that I took off my card were that Dortmund game, Crystal Palace, Villa Bournemouth, and Man United Coventry. I probably will have plays for all of those. So if you're interested, at Andrew Passaro, at Ani Sridhar 23, at the Plus Money Pod. We'll catch you next week. We've got a busy week because we've got makeup fixtures in the Premier League. We got a
hey, we got
Merseyside derby.
playoff NBA, playoff NHL. It's a great time of the year.
It's all happening. I love
Yeah.
it. What a time. Let's stay positive, and we'll catch you next week, everybody.